Welcome back. We are live on Mice TV from Da Nang, Vietnam, and we just had Matt Young on the show to talk about the Orbis party tonight, which is drinking, having fun, dancing for a great cause. Speaking of great causes, our next guest in the studio today is Mr. Prathamesh Waghmare. Welcome to the show, Prath.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
Now, you're doing some incredible work with the Khmer Sight Foundation, is that correct?
Oh yes, I hope so.
Well, so before we get into that, you're in Vietnam, you live in Cambodia. Have you been here before?
Oh yes, this is my second trip to Vietnam.
Second trip to Vietnam.
My first trip was in April here.
Was in April?
But not in Da Nang. I went to Ho Chi Minh.
Okay.
Da Nang I've never heard of. Thanks to CAKE PIE.
Yeah.
Right. Here. And the very first day I arrived here, I went to Bana Hills.
Oh.
So it was a very wonderful day for me. And yeah, here I am on the next day itself. Talking to you.
I hope you got some good pictures of the Golden Hand Bridge. It's pretty famous.
That's the most thing I got there.
Yes.
Yeah. The hands are actually hiding. It's just me standing there. So,
you know you were there.
Yes, definitely. My whole social media, I even posted it on LinkedIn.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're no stranger to this part of the world.
Yeah.
You're actually, so besides your work with the Khmer Sight Foundation, you're also a researcher and lecturer at University of Puthasastra in
Yes.
Phnom Penh,
Yes.
is that correct?
Yes.
So how long have you been working in Cambodia for?
Well, it's 2.5 years. I came to Cambodia for the first time in 2019, just to volunteer with the Khmer Sight Foundation, and I was there for mere 7 to 10 days, and I saw the team, saw the country. I explored it. I loved the work, and that's when I got an opportunity to work for Khmer Sight on a permanent basis, and 3 months later, boom, I was in Cambodia, and I'm still there.
Wow. Quite a journey.
Yeah. It is.
So you've had a lot of opportunity to kind of survey the scene on the ground in Cambodia. Can you tell me a little bit about the eye care situation there?
Well, currently, to be honest, Matt, I'll tell you, prior to 2019, I never even knew where Cambodia was. I'm an Asian, I'm an Indian, yet still I used to be like, Cambodia, Colombia, where? But luckily I Googled, as everyone else, and then I read about it a lot, about the situation of eye care and everything else, but the actual reality, what I wanted to, get to be known of, only got to know when I came to Cambodia right on the ground itself. Then when I explored that actually it is not as it's supposed to be, or not the way I was thinking, because I've never traveled to this country before. I've never heard of the eye care situation or any kind of situation about this, so it was a very new experience for me anyways. But when I arrived here, and my first week itself was like, wow, this country is such a beautiful country with marvelous people, the sweetest people probably in Southeast Asia, and they don't have that much of eye care service.
Right.
The basic eye care service which you, me, everyone can afford. So yes, current situation right now, if I look back from our work which we have done through Khmer Sight Foundation, which has been going on since a long time, if I may recall, it started from 2016. The organization came into existence, and up till now, yes, we are still on a way to progress. But definitely, if you compare it from like 6 years ago, the current scenario would be much, much, much better than compared to what it was. So I'm very proud and very grateful to be, a part of that transition which is happening in Cambodia right now.
And I don't know if you're aware, in our last issue of Cookie Magazine, we actually did an article, or it was Cake Magazine, where we interviewed some people from the foundation. And, we know access is a big challenge. And they said that, some of the people who were getting these cataract surgeries had never even been in a car before. So you had to plan for things like motion sickness, things that you wouldn't even think about, when you're going to get eye care. What are some of the other challenges, really, with providing eye care throughout Cambodia?
Well, first of all, the challenges for people is a whole lot of a different thing. Challenges for us as an eye care practitioner, what I would say is, I love traveling, true story, but traveling in Cambodia and traveling in Vietnam is not as bumpy or much happier, you might think. But yes, Cambodia is a beautiful country, but in order to get to the patients, you have to go to the remotest places where actually you will find that the people staying there have not even visited to the capital city, which is Phnom Penh, for the entire life.
Wow.
Okay, so for them, and they don't have a state transport facility or any kind of a service like that, so they prefer to stay in their own environment and their own space. So yes, definitely when we go there, it is a challenge for us because sometimes they are not exposed to the outer world, to the people, and they are definitely happy. They are very warm and welcoming. But yes, convincing them to coming to the city makes them a little bit skeptical because again, it's the thing which they have never explored, and it's something out of their boundaries.
Right.
So definitely for us, it is not much of a bigger problem. Apart from the language, apart from the different culture which we explore. But luckily, I'm trying to tackle that situation. I've learned a little bit of Khmer, and they are very surprised when they talk to me, like, where are you from? I was like, yeah, I'm Cambodian. So, yes, as an eye care practitioner, luckily I have a very wonderful NGO which arranges everything for doctors like us, for volunteer optometrists like us who come from different parts of the world to Cambodia, and we have the facilities to go there. But it's very difficult for them to convince to come back to the city because of multiple reasons which might probably take a day or so to explain, because everyone has their own different reasons.
Right.
Yes.
So,
So you were talking a lot about taking trips. So let's talk a little bit about your actual work with the Khmer Sight Foundation.
Definitely.
So what are you doing out there for them? How are they and you kind of leveling the playing field to get eye care to these remote areas?
Yeah. So Khmer Sight Foundation usually has volunteer optometrists and ophthalmologists coming every month or every week sometimes.
Yeah.
Unluckily because of COVID, it was stopped for a while, but we are back in force again, and people from countries like UK, US, Germany, and from all around the globe, people come here for a week or two with their entire team, which consists of nurses, optometrists, ophthalmologists, and then all of them together go to the screenings. So we screen the patients there. We we segregate those patients who have cataracts, who have pterygiums and other eye problems, which are actually reversible. Then we sort them out. Then our Khmer ophthalmic nurses counsel them in such a way that they are very lovely counselors. They will be like, you have to come, else, there is going to be a problem. And the people are very scared at first, as the reason I told you. But once they are convinced and they come here, so that's where our NGO plays a very big part. So we go in the province, we do the screenings, we bring all the patients back to Phnom Penh, do free surgeries for them, give them free food, accommodation. We see them the next day after the surgeries are done, and they're happy. They give us reviews and they go back home happily.
Nice. Let's just talk really quickly about another hat that you wear. So it sounds like the Khmer Sight Foundation has a lot to do with outreach.
Yes.
So you're a researcher and a teacher at a university in Phnom Penh, and this is education.
Definitely.
So we talked about we just talked about Fred Hollows, where sustainability involves education. So what are you doing in the education space to try and solve the other side of that problem?
Definitely. So yes, there are wonderful people working in Cambodia like Fred Hollows and Sight Savers and a lot of NGOs. What Khmer Sight and me are doing there, we have local doctors who are local ophthalmologists who are intending and wishing to be ophthalmologists for the future. So they work with us, and when these international teams come in together, we conduct wet labs for them, we conduct some presentations for them. So they get an international ophthalmologist and international optometrist exposure as well, which is definitely helpful for their growth. For me, they work on a day-to-day basis because we have a private setup as well. We see a lot of patients which are apart from the charity. So we have a very nice setup which is very much good in order to learn ophthalmology and optometry. We have the latest high-end equipments, high-end operation theaters, very skilled staff. So I am the one optometrist who is currently working there. I have another colleague from Bangladesh who is working there right now as I'm speaking to you.
Okay.
But yes, so from my side, we are trying our best in order to give them proper education about eye care.
Well, I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like you're doing some really great work there, Prath, and we really appreciate you joining us today. It was super inspiring for me to hear about your work. So, yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thanks
And
for
what do we
having
have
me.
next? Yep, you're welcome. And
Yeah.
thank